I just had an Indian student who same day lay in Australia, and he banged his first white woman who is really hot. And this topic is going to talk about the difference between SMV. Before that, he banged a Brazilian. And of all dating coaches, Johnny Elite has nonstop Indian testimonials. The reason why Indian men have multiple SMVs, multiple levels, is because they have different skin color. A white person, he's always going to have bright skin. An Asian's always going to look yellowish. Every other race, Latino's going to look like this, Persian's going to look like that. But for Indian men, for some reason, they have many different skin colors. They can go from very fair, very light, or it can go very dark. This is why their SMV changes. So we'll be going down the chart here. So I put white, black, Latinos, Middle Easterns, Pakistanis. Yes, Pakistanis do very well in Daygame with women. Whitewash Indian, short black, curry Indians. It's not to insult you. It's just brutal honesty. It just means that when you're a negative stereotype, you get treated like one. You can never look white, no matter what. But however, if you look black and you're Indian, we're talking about the Sri Lankans, the darker skinned Indians, you will get an 8 out of 10 SMV. If you look black for some unknown reason and you're Indian, you will still, if you're tall and strong, you'll still have the same SMV as all the other races. You know, my old roommate, he's not Latino, but he has very fair skin. He looks like he has very bright skin. And when you see his skin is glowing for an Indian guy, you can't even tell that he is Indian. So what happens is for his SMV, it's actually 7 out of 10. So if you look black, it's 8 out of 10. If you're Latino looking, which my old roommate looks Latino, guess what? 7 out of 10. His girlfriend is Latina. So it doesn't even matter about your accent. This is a big lie. If you're Curry Indian, right? Number 2 out of 10 right here. Curry Indian. You don't have to be Indian to watch this video. You'll learn a lot. If you're Curry Indian here and you have a Curry Indian accent, guess what happens? Women can stereotype people. They like to categorize people. Asians, if you look like an Asian negative stereotype, you get categorized as, and obviously I don't dress like a negative stereotype Asian. What Indian men is so tough for them. And you look at this chart, whitewash Indian men, 4 out of 10. The fuck it am I talking about? What do you mean that Indians can be whitewashed? Let me ask you guys a question. When you look at the Indians, the guy who's really good with women, the guys who marry white women, are they whitewashed? Do they dress like a white person, a male model kind of person? Do they have this kind of hairstyle? And the answer is often yes. Are they tall? Have they lost their accent? Have they assimilated with society? The answer is absolutely. So to say that Indian is having it hard, I want to tell you guys that's complete bullshit. Brown is a new black. Brown is a new black. And over here in the chart, I put 6 out of 10. Okay? 6 out of 10. If you look Pakistani, and Pakistanis are really known to have a little bit darker skin, and they're more alpha. My mentor is Pakistani. When you look more alpha and whitewash, women are into you. So all these people tell you that being Indian, right? Being Indian, the death sentence. No, they're only talking about the benchod Indians. Right here, the curry Indians. If you look like another race, if you look Latino, you got light skin. If you look like a whitewash Indian, your natural status, there's 2 types of status. 1, natural status, your race, this hierarchy. And number 2, it is your earned status, which is lifestyle, which is the money, which is the job you have. All this other shit can raise your SMV. Whatever you are on this chart, what I mean by that is because there are different variables for SMV. What is the best advice for Indian men? Curry Indians, stay the fuck away from this category. And that's the problem. They're like whitewash Indians, or they're like black looking Indians. That is not the same Indians as Curry Indians. So what can you do about it? Now that there's a number assigned to different type of races, for example, if it's 2 out of 10 for Curry Indians, I'm sorry, but if you are going to look like a negative stereotype and talk like a negative stereotype, you will be treated as a negative stereotype. There is no mercy. So what you want to do is to get yourself out of that fucking category. And my fashion right now, it doesn't mean like you can copy me and it works for you. Everyone has their own different clothing according to all my students. Some studios won't even wear blazers when they're Indians. However, saying that, you want to stay away from any negative stereotype. You must do everything in your power not to have the type of things that they're going to associate with negative stereotypes. So if you're a black looking Indian and you get 8 out of 10 SMV or Latino looking, you're a positive stereotype. So what are the negative stereotypes? Think about it this way. You're like, oh, but I always hear this all the time. But John, I got an Indian accent. But you dress like a Korean Indian. But John, I got an Indian accent. But when you dress like that, you're going to get all rejected. Because women, even in Europe or any other place, they don't know what race they are. And when my bootcamp students start dressing like a whitewashed Indian, 4 out of 10, some of the girls start asking, what's your ethnicity? She had no fucking clue. And he was like, oh my God, John, it's the happiest day of my life. And I was like, what the fuck? Why is it your happiest day? You just dress in my fashion. He said, she doesn't know what ethnicity I am. Because he's always been stereotyped. So the first thing you need to do as an Indian man is to break any negative stereotypes. First of all, what are the negative stereotypes associated with Indian men? It's always the same fucking stereotypes. Number one is always the beard. Women love the beard. I hear this all the time. John, but women love the beard because it looks masculine. It doesn't look masculine. Sorry to tell you. It doesn't look masculine at all. You're just looking like a curry Indian. This is what they call Punjabis. You always see them with a turban and a big beard. So this stereotype is the Punjabi stereotype. It's a religious thing and I get it, but you don't want to associate yourself with that kind of look. You'd rather have a 5 o'clock shadow because a lot of are thinking big beard. And you guys love the unibrow. There's always like a middle section to the eyebrows because you guys are very hairy. There's also another thing that you guys use. I use pomade on my hair. A lot of you guys use coconut oil. I know it. I fucking know it. Moroccan oil, coconut oil. I know you Indian guys better than yourselves. So when you use fucking coconut oil, move your hair left. So what happens is you're reinforcing the Indian stereotype with greasy hair, bad haircut. And you always see that whenever you Google Indian men, always see this kind of Indian wash, this Bollywood. This is what happens when I have these Indian guys and even were moving to the United States for many years. They always say, I've been here for more than 10 years, John. I'm not Indian wash. And they're Indian on the spot looking. Dude, it affects you because your mental filter is influenced by the country you came from. It's not Bollywood wash, it's Indian wash. You want to be whitewashed. And for a lot of you, whitewash is hard because when you talk and he's saying this to Indian guys, what do I wear? They wear this pink shirt. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. Pink shirt. It's called a work shirt in India. The lower value caste or caste system. In India, there's also a skin color system. Not just here. There's a skin color system called the caste system in India, where the people with a darker skin are considered lower value and those with a fair skin are considered higher value. As fucked up as that sounds, there's actually a system that discriminates in terms of class warfare in India. Like, what's wrong with this, John? That's the thing. The accent is now paired with a negative stereotype. Now I'm telling you, a lot of students, when they try to look like a different race, that's exactly what. So John, this sounds really bad. You guys thinking, what the fuck? This doesn't sound fair. I don't want to be paired in a negative stereotype. What can I do about it? First of all, you got to acknowledge that there's a big fucking problem. And second of all, you got to acknowledge that your SMV does change depending on your skin color and what race you look like. Number one, you never want to look Indian. There is no advantages whatsoever because you'll be fighting like an Asian person. You'll be fighting without any sort of SMV. That's great. So you need to get into the whitewash Indian category. This is where you see Indian men who basically have no accent. They take care of their hair. They groom. They have a decent fashion sense. They wear dress shirts. They do all this shit. They look white. They look more white than you do. Look at all your friends that got married before that are Indians with white girls. They don't have a big fucking beard. They don't have a big fucking pink dress shirt or fucking work shirt. They're tall. You have no accent. You guys know what I'm talking about. Among your peers, they're sociopathic as shit. They still give you that death stare that Indians have. That sociopathic death stare. And they'll still fucking stab you in the back, of course. And this is what happens to a lot of my students. They get stabbed in the back by their own fucking race. But because of their alpha behavior, and they adapted accent, and they also adapted to be more whitewashed. Guess what happens to them? They get white women, because white women are into brown skin too. Despite what you guys think, white women are not into 2 out of 10 curry Indians. They're not. Nobody's into that. But they're into whitewash Indians. And if you're a Pakistani looking Indian, which is like 5 out of 10, they're into that too. In fact, women would throw themselves more on a Pakistani looking dark skinned Indian. So the darker skin you have, because you got to think outside the accent and race, women don't just see the accent and the race. They don't actually see your accent. Do you think anyone knew my old roommate, who is a good looking guy with fair skin? Do you think any of the women knew he was Indian? Not even one. They have no idea where the fuck he comes from. They think he's either Persian or they think he's like Latino. Does that make sense? So even for my student who just got a same day leg, actually a lot of students got like results. So by looking Latino and having lighter skin, he's got the complaints because he's been in like to Mexico where his girlfriend, and all of the Latinas thought he was actually Latino. Isn't that funny? So if you look like a black Indian, let's say for example, you take away your Indian hair, you just shave it, you got muscles. Women cannot pair the curry accent with the black looking race. You always think, oh, they always know my accent. The women know my accent. They don't fucking have a clue anywhere. You think they're that culture? They just look at height, they look at muscles, and they look at dark skin, like almost like a black guy. They gave you the same compliance as a guy who's black. As fucked up as that sounds. So now you gotta realize, what is John saying that's correct? You must do everything in your power to look like a different race or look like a whitewashed Indian. Whitewashed Indian is just a starting point. That is the point where you get 4 out of 10. You want to access higher. If you got dark skin, right? Whitewash, guess what? You look more Pakistani? Great. 5 out of 10. Oh, but let's say you look Middle Eastern, fair skin, Indian, 6 out of 10. That means Indians do not have it the worst. You only shoot your fucking self in the foot when you actually want to dress like Indian wash. And most people don't know they're Indian wash. They'll put that coconut oil in their hair. They won't fucking fade the size of their hair. They won't actually change their fashion because they can't see what the mistake is. So now, what race can you fit into that's not Indian? Can you even fit into Pakistani? Even if you don't like Pakistani people and you are at war with each other, you guys fucking hate each other. I've never been backstabbed by a Pakistani person ever in my life. I've been backstabbed by Indians. But you never want to be that type. Not even one Pakistani has ever backstabbed me, ever. So having said that, and trust me, I know this shit. If my mentor, or the guy who mentored me before, gaming elite, now I'm John elite, is Pakistani. He's one of the best daygamers in the world. Fucking 14 lays in a fucking month, and he's not even trying. He's like, John, that's nothing. Before, he says, I can pull 4 women home, and I have to give them to his friends because there's just too many women to fuck at once. He can same day lay in front of me, which is great. And also he can number of clothes and meet her there to date. He has dark skin. He's Pakistani. Are you guys starting to see this? That means even he speaks like a white guy, even more white than me. No accent whatsoever. It's not just the accent that matters or not. That's not the point. The point is nobody knows what your fucking accent is. As long as you can change the way you look for your race. They cannot pair the accent in their mind with anything else. And we like to categorize people. When we look at an Asian person and you see them with the bad hair and they're like, oh, they're cute. I want to come and say hi. And they dress like shit. They're dressed like H&M, like fucking RSD hoodies, the RSD hoodies, and RSD victims. The Asian that says looks don't matter. Race don't matter. You know the type, the sociopathic pickup artists. You see all over Vancouver. You see them everywhere. So as long as you can change your look, fashion, and change your race, that's aesthetics. So what I'm teaching my other students is to be more whitewashed, but also different races. The guy who's same day later instantly, I'm trying to teach him how to look more black. As fucked up as that sounds. Black, Puerto Rican, somewhere like 7 or 8 out of 10. So that means that Indians that have that looks black, they don't have as much game. They're playing Negro game, romance. Bullshit. Fuck that. Bull fucking shit. So romance never ever works. It's funny, Johnny Lee can get so many Indians laid over and over. And the video testimonials are just the beginning. You guys don't understand Indians. Indians don't even understand themselves and how they look. So what are some good places for Indians to go? I think the best places for Indians to Daygame, the places they should consider going, is Australia. Australia, Indians can do well, but it's been contaminated in Australia. Now you got new shitty fucking coaches who are teaching there. One of my students got 100 lays, and now he's sucking off other coaches. Whatever. It's his money. But that game already works there for multiple students. Don't reinvent the fucking wheel. Asian version, the sexual connection works very well. Change the way you look. Fashion equals pretty, and you can change your SMB. So all this time when you thought Indians are 2 out of 10, not in my fucking experience. You gotta look at the UAR, the universal exotic rating. When you look at an Indian man and you fucking look at the way but basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is to change your race. And also a lot of my students that are getting results. You are not 2 out of 10. When you look at the Indian body, a lot of them are actually extremely tall. Like they do have bigger bone structure, wider shoulders, bigger frame, and they have better proportions than the Asian men. They're born that way. This could be your advantage for protector status. You're a much bigger guy, so you can use that to your advantage. Working out will help Indian men a lot, but not all of them are tall. If you're not tall, you try to be whitewashed. So you always try to bandwagon off of a different SMV. The first thing you gotta do is change the way you look so you no longer pair your accent with race. Number 2, I'm not saying that reducing your accent, it doesn't fucking matter. A lot of people say, John, I have an Indian accent. Great. But if you don't look Indian, she doesn't know. She just think brown. Think here, instead of 50 shades of gray, think 50 shades of brown. Different shades equal different SMV. All this time when Indian says, I have it harder, bullshit. She doesn't know where the accent comes from. She can't pair it according to this chart. She doesn't know if you're a black looking Indian, a Latino with light skin. She doesn't know if you're a Pakistani. Doesn't know if you're whitewashed. Why would they be scared of you? It's very simple. You got to think it's the out tribe or the in tribe. That's part of the in tribe here. Okay. In tribe. People are not scared because you look like them. So if you're Indian and you look whitish, guess what? You're part of the fucking tribe. But if you look Indian or you look Asian, guess what? You are the out tribe, not the in tribe. You're part of the out tribe. Out tribe is what they call xenophobia. Xenophobia means a fear and dislike of other people's culture. It's not because white women are racist towards you. It's because you are scaring the shit out of them. In terms of evolutionary psychology, you're scaring the shit out of white women by dressing and looking like a curry Indian, which is 2 out of fucking 10. You want to move up to 4 out of 10, whitewash Indian. That means you have more value and you can fucking adapt to every fucking race here. If you look black, great. If you look Pakistani, whatever. But if you look black and you try to make yourself look like a tall, black, strong guy, fuck, it's even easier. You don't even need that much game. You'll be 8 out of fucking 10. You guys know this is true deep inside. All the Sri Lankans that you guys are Sri Lankans that you guys been making fun of. Oh, he has dark skin. Ha ha. Guess what? The Pakistani guy. White women love dark skin. There are some white women who want to venture out of their tribe, their out tribe. Have you noticed there are women out there who doesn't want to date white men? They want to date every other fucking race except their own. Because maybe in evolutionary psychology, there are some women that are designed to be part of a different tribe. Maybe the conquering tribe. Or maybe they're designed in such a way that if everyone just goes for their own race, they won't have genetic diversity. There are a lot of white women that are not into their own race. They're into brown guys. You have no idea that by being brown is not a death sentence in Europe. You think women in Europe knows anything about Indian culture if they didn't do yoga or anything like that? No fucking clue. So use this to your advantage. And there's a lot of Indians who are like very stubborn. A lot of Indians, there's 2 types of Indians. Number 1, benchod Indians. They're the RSD victim. I fucking hate dealing with the delusional benchods, the mama chodes, the papa chodes. You guys know what I'm talking about. These kind of Indians are super, super annoying as shit. They're delusional. They're sociopathic. They want to stab you in the back. These are the kind of Indians that are unteachable. Then you have the other guys who are victims of the benchod Indians. Benchod, for those who doesn't understand, means like fuckers. Benchod, like motherfucker, mama chode, papa chode, father fucker, benchod, sister fucker. That's a funny way of saying it. So I do know a little bit of Hindi. I know all about your culture, dude. I know about Northern Indians, Southern Indians. I know about your cuisines. I know all about your fucking culture. You'd be surprised. I know about the tribes. I know about everything. I've even dated Indian women before. So I know all about your culture. The Indians who gets backstabbed by the benchos are usually my students. The guys, Indians like to backstab each other, but not all of them backstab each other. My good students are the ones who get backstabbed. So in India, you have the wrong mindset for everything. It's almost like a value-taking mindset. Number 3, you can look like a different race. The faster you change to a different race, get out of the 2 out of 10. There is no success here. There is no success whatsoever. You cannot play here in this part of the game. There is no way you can win. You better look whitewashed. If you can't adapt, guess what? Go back to your country and fucking go for arranged marriage. Stop wasting everyone's time. If not, stop going to RSD. Stop going to London Daygame. I know you motherfuckers love London Daygame, especially in London. You motherfuckers are like, let's go to London Daygame. Johnny Lee gets so many student results that are Indian. Work on your social skills. That's what I want to say for advice. If I start sugarcoating things to make it sound better, I won't get any fucking testimonials. This is the science. Has anyone ever been able to be an exception to the science? Has anyone ever broke the rules and got out of this chart? The 20 out of 35, looks out of 10, money out of 5, race out of 10, game is out of 10, social skills, social calibrations, emotional intelligence game. Has anyone ever been the exception? The answer is not even one, no one. This is like down to a fucking perfect statistical science. It's not what you want to hear. But when you stop being delusional and you actually accept it, then you can finally adapt with compensation theory. Whatever you lack in one category, figure out a way to boost your stats. So if you have a 2 out of 10 SMV as a Curry Indian, you try to look whitewashed, you raise it by 2 points. More fashion, you raise it by another 2 or 3 points. Social skills, elite 30 from hard case to hero. You boost it by a few points, 2.5 points, 25%. Social calibrations, body language, you improve that. Does that make sense? Whatever you lack, wherever you are, is not a death sentence. You are not 2 out of 10. The secret is that white women love Indian guys. They hate Curry Indians, but they love the rest. You guys have no fucking idea. And it's so easy for them in places like Australia when they actually have some kind of same day late kind of game. And that's why you're seeing like Indian men, all these results. But when it's here, you only transfer to the positive stereotype, all whites, blacks, and Latinos. Maybe some whitewash Indians or something like that. Luckily. But for my one, it transferred to all of them. If you're Indian, you're not allowed to use romance. You don't fit into the positive stereotype to use romance. So that's the truth. Never ever use romance because it suffocates testimonials. Let the testimonials speak for themselves. I just got another Indian guy same day late with a hot Norwegian chick. He's 5'7". The sexual connection. Cut all romance out of the game. So let me continue. Number 1, fuckboy. Number 2, boyfriend provider. You don't fit into it. Asians, Indians, and short blacks. Short blacks. Why do short blacks not have the same fucking SFV as a tall black? Very fucking simple. Short black guys do not have the height, the pre-selection, or the protector status. I'm sorry, guys, but you're 5'7", you have inner game issues. Because you're all fucking, you don't have the protector status. You don't have the looks, and all this pre-selection that tall blacks have, you don't fucking have it. I'm sorry, guys. You have to have a good game as an Asian person, like me. You need to have perfect fucking height, protector status, pre-selection, SMV. Where do you stand? Change your hairstyle. Change what race you look like. Simple advice. Don't use romance. So what's the third frame? Friend zone, social circle. You may not always fit into a white girl's social circle. So you don't want to play in that frame. Next one's husband material. For Indians, it's good to dress a little bit better, whitewash. Number 5, daddy daughter frame. I think guys who use seeking arrangements like Justin Wayne and stuff uses this frame. That's the daddy daughter frame. Try and be like the father figure. Number 6, high status, celebrity status. High status works for Indian guys if you're whitewashed. You got a cool Instagram. You got a cool lifestyle. You have white female friends. And then you can use them to get other white women. You're Pakistani looking, you got some money. You got the cool lifestyle. That's really where you want to play the game from. High status, fuck boy, or you don't want to play as the boyfriend, girlfriend. No romance, guys. Don't even use any romance because I asked my student who was 5'7", who banged a Norwegian blonde. I said, hey, dude, do you ever use romance in your game? He just kept laughing. Fuck no, I'm Indian. They reject me like crazy if I use romance, any of it. I was like, yeah, fuck. You are using the sexual connection. I've always had my own system from day one. So if you're Indian, you also want to have a V-shaped body, like a really muscular Dorito shape. Is going to help you a lot because when you think about it, if you have narrow shoulders, what is the biggest part of a woman? Her fucking hips. What's the biggest part of a man? His chest, his back, his lats. You want to widen that as wide as possible. And because you're Indian and your bone structure is much better than Asians. It's almost like your bone structure is Western. So sometimes I wonder, are Indians, do they have European genetics? Because their bone structure looks like a white guy, a lot wider than the Asians. They must have some kind of DNA mixed, either with Black people or with Europeans or something. They have a superior bone structure. So you want to take advantage of that. And you want to make sure you got the right hairstyle and more coconut oil. You want to use pomade. You want to look like a white male model as much as you can, because that helps you with every other race. If you're Sri Lankan, you look very blackish, then you can do these black fades and you can do these black, like faded beards and shit like that. Very well trimmed beards. And you can look a little bit like edgier, more like a black sort of rapper kind of person. As long as you show off your muscles. That's what I'm going to do with my newest student. That 5'7" guy in Australia, Curry Indians, your mental filter, the way you see the world, you're seeing from an Indian person's point of view, that you're looking like it too. And your fashion is Indian one. You're brainwashed. You really have your mind overwritten by RSD shit. You can't give people authority that they have not earned. Every single ethnicity, you have to adapt to your fucking game. It's a game of value. It's not a numbers game. Hope you learned something. And for Indian men out there, find the right coaches. You don't have to go just because he's your fucking race that you go for the same motherfucking person who's the same race. You go for the coach that has the most Indian laid testimonials in Daygame.
If you like this video, like and subscribe so I would make more recut videos. Also sign up to my main John Elite YouTube channel too.